So, but actually what I wanted to tell is that it was very heartwarming to see the Place Saint-Michel that was just behind Alice's video, because we all were at the Venice at Place Saint-Michel just in July this year. And I'm very happy to introduce to you one person who organized all this. Welcome, Kärt Summatavet. Kärt, you are Doctor of Arts from Aalto, but you also work here in Delta in the Sandbox, in Institute of Computer Science. But also, you are artist yourself, and you belong to the board of Estonian Association of Designers, so you do a lot of practical work. So why did you take us to Venice? Why did you organize the Delta studio, and why did you consider relevant to show us the Biennale?
That's a very nice introduction to me. Thank you. In 2019 to 2020, University of Tartu invited me as a professor of liberal arts, and this honorable position gives a professor very, very broad and creative hands. So I conducted my studios, but also when I worked as a professor, European Culture Academy approached to me, and for my great honor and surprise, they invited me to hold a studio during the Biennale of Architecture in Venice. And because Delta Maja was just opened and really, really inspiring environment, I dedicated to my studio to Delta Maja. And we also invited international, very, very outstanding network of art, design, and science schools, Cumulus, with us, and also our university's different departments. So that course in Venice started already in Delta Maja before we went to Venice because of the virus. And we were very, very happy that we gathered each other, and our international students, our international professionals all gathered to Venice. And that course we dedicated to Delta Maja and Delta Maja's future, and it was held by the Institute of the Computer Science. So first week we focused on tradition, because we all know that in our past we have so many wonderful discoveries, what are basis of our science, our thinking, our future plans. But at the same time, we know that in past we have done many mistakes. And therefore, the second week of that studio was dedicated to innovation, and we learned from the Biennale what is the best practices for future 10 or 20 years, and combined with our Delta house and Delta plans. And as Lennart Meri already have said, that by knowing the past, we can design our future. So we decided not to copy anybody, but to start something out from our own Nordic wisdom, and combining that to Venice, to all human experience, what can inform us for our university and our university's goals for future. So these international movements put together to the most important thinkers of the 20th century, we combined together with Palladio, with Leonardo da Vinci's ideas, and came back to our university's goals. What actually can now be a platform for collaboration, for innovation, and not only in words, but also to go very, very deep in a very futuristic, but also empathic and responsible, ethical way.
So you showed us a lot of visuals there, and we were actually studying all these very closely while being in Venice. But I wanted to ask you, you have been also working in China. So can you elaborate more in this East-West dimension, which was so relevant for Venice at that time, and currently is extremely relevant for Estonia, not only regarding the Russian connection, but also Asian connection right now? So.
Yes, in Estonian culture and Estonian Nordic way of thinking, where we consider so much our environment and nature and the balance and harmony between humans and our natural environment. So this coincides very, very well to Asian concept of happiness. So if we want to design happiness, we have to know our best roots, to learn from our mistakes. And I think that Delta and Delta Maya is the most inspiring place where to start this in Estonia. And in China, I learned how quickly talented young people can just drop off stereotypes and become free, think freely, and if you are feeling free and safe, then your inspiration combined with your knowledge and skills and technology will create something really unexpected and really systematize chaos and make it valuable tool for us.
Mm-hmm. You are now working with a design course in our sandbox here. Would you like to tell us more about it?
Yes, I was so happy that this September, so many students from different backgrounds registered to or answered to my call. I called students who are curious, who have courage, who want to experiment, and would like to feel, practice, and not just the word creativity and innovation, but also do it, and how to do it. This key I already have 35 years of teaching young generation how to open up and in your own field create something new. Get out from stereotypes, take the best from the past, and then use today's knowledge to create something very great and original, not copying, original to the future.
Yes. We still have some minutes to go, and I actually would come back to this Venetian studio, because we had actually people there from different disciplines. So we had economists, business people, and also during the course we had also computer science and robotics people on board. And also we had many students there. So I would like to ask you a kind of like two tricky questions. What you as a designer learned from the other disciplines on that specific Venetian course. And the other thing, what did you learn from students?
Yeah. The most important thing what I learned, because I always learn something, was and is how important is IT technology combined with other disciplines. And therefore, the Institute of Computer Science and Sandbox is, for me, a very good platform where to create this kind of environment where we can dream, play with new ideas and not to feel silly or fool. And the same happened in Venice. I learned from participants from younger generation always something very, very inspiring what I haven't seen before. I saw one student who really started to create a new solution for his mathematical theory. The other student who actually made me understand how material science really can change even human experience for the future. And therefore, this kind of meetings of different generations and different knowledge backgrounds are coming together in new type of universities, like Aalto University, where I have made my PhD. So I learn always from younger generation new perspectives what I really haven't noticed myself.
So I think also it was a wonderful experience staying there all together and getting really to know each other. But now maybe my final question would be to you, would you do it again?
I would love to. I would love to.
And would you change anything by this course?
Everything.
Okay, can you elaborate more on that as well? You know, about the future plans, you know, what could we do?
Yeah, like this new course of Sandbox and Institute of Computer Science already allows me to test new experiments for myself from my own background. I have so many ideas what can come up only when I meet the real people. When I look at their eyes, I already know how they can react, and therefore I always design the program and exercises and surprises for them, especially for that group. So this is for me always the new way. So I'm not copying myself, I'm creating every course in a new way.
All right, and then we have 1.5 minutes for the great event called Biennale. So we didn't talk about so much of that, but can you briefly say, what did you like most in this year's Biennale in Venice?
I can say first what I did not like.
All right, yes.
Because we very often don't talk about mistakes, of course also copying old ideas what actually are not functioning in these environments where they are transported from some environment what is working, and now they are in another environment. So we could see on that Biennale this kind of old-minded projects. And at the same time, the most inspiring expositions and experiments were neuro studies and 3D printing met each other and made something new to experience and to go further on.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much for now, but I'm asking you to stay here because we are going to get ready for our group of talents, and this is the only session where actually the talents can have their say. So stay tuned for the next session here.